And CNN has been able to confirm news originally reported by Bloomberg. This is from my colleague, Caitlin Collins, who confirms that the president's son, Donald Trump Jr., has tested positive for coronavirus. I'm going to read a statement now from a spokesperson for Don Jr. They write, quote, Don tested positive at the start of the week and has been quarantining out at his cabin since the result. He's been completely asymptomatic so far and is following all medically recommended Covid-19 guidelines. So again, the president's son, Donald Trump Jr., testing positive for coronavirus. You'll recall that earlier this summer, his girlfriend, Kimberly Guilfoyle, tested positive for the virus. She eventually overcame it. No serious health issues there. But Don Jr. now becomes the latest in a long string of officials close to the president, close to the White House, who have contracted the virus. Just today, Rudy Giuliani, the president's personal attorney, we learned is now in self-isolation because his son, Andrew Giuliani, who's an assistant to the president, also tested positive for the virus. Officials on the campaign, David Bossie, for example, also testing positive, as well as the White House Chief of Staff, Mark Meadows. And that's just to name a few public figures associated with the president in just the last few weeks. Clearly, this is major news. Don Jr., known on social media for mocking people who wear masks, for mocking Joe Biden for wearing masks, very ardent supporter of the president's cause, of the president's agenda. And we should note that as the president has been affixed on the idea that the election was somehow stolen from him, propagating conspiracy theories and sharing nonsense, this pandemic is still raging across the country, and now it is affecting his own son, Wolf.
Yeah, and it's really a significant moment because, as you point out, so many people, and now the president's own son, Donald Trump Jr., confirmed has COVID-19, and hopefully it's not going to be serious, but we don't know. We don't know the long-term impact of COVID-19. Even if the condition is relatively mild, there could be long-term ramifications. There's a lot of people who've had it to complain months down the road, memory loss, toughness in breathing. They can't exercise the way they used to exercise. There's so much we don't know about this disease, and now Donald Trump Jr. Has it as well. And we did learn, Boris, that the Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, Dr. Ben Carson, he had COVID-19, and today, right now, we're just learning in a statement, he was reportedly desperately ill. They required emergency medication for him, that monoclonal antibody cocktail that the president received at Walter Reed when he tested positive for COVID-19. It seems all those events that the White House was organizing during the campaign and even since, all those super spreader type events have had a direct impact.
Absolutely, Wolf. That's why it's so baffling that the White House would continue holding events with large numbers of people at the White House, whether on election night or other occasions at the Rose Garden, for example, especially after the president himself had such a difficult moment with this virus. Beyond that, the campaign events that I attended, many of them, with thousands of people not wearing masks, not social distancing, it truly is baffling that the White House has handled the coronavirus the way that it has. And even if Donald Trump Jr., as it says in the statement, is asymptomatic, and fortunately he doesn't deal with some of the awful ramifications of the virus, just the fact that he has it and could potentially spread it to other people, whether young or old, who have pre-existing conditions that make them more susceptible to the horrible things that this virus can do to the body, that in itself is a reason to take precaution. And further, as you noted, Wolf, we don't know all that much about the long-term effects of this virus. So seeing the White House having handled this virus this way from the beginning, with the president spreading misinformation, admittedly trying to play it down, as he told Bob Woodward in a number of interviews, it is truly baffling and infuriating, especially as we get into these winter months and we watch the epidemic spread further and further, surging across so many states, across the entire country. Wolf.
Yeah, it's really a serious situation. Now, you would think they would learn from all of this. Clearly, they have not learned from all of this.